Probably sat on one.
That's it.
So, good morning, everybody, and welcome to Delta College on this gorgeous morning when it's not too hot and the breeze is blowing, and we're going to do something really, really special here today. So, I'm Kathy Hart. I'm the Superintendent President of Delta College, and I'm extremely excited about what we're about to do here today. We're sort of going back to the future in some ways. And I have a number of people that I'd like to introduce to you, and all of them aren't here, but I think you should know who our Board of Trustees are and who our Foundation Board, who those people are. So I'm going to read the list. Richard Vasquez, I don't think Richard's here. He's our Board President. Steve Castellanos is our Vice President. And from District 5. Dr. Teresa Brown is here. She's from Area 6, which is Tracy. Carlos Huerta, I don't think Carlos is here. Dr. Catherine Mathis, I don't think she's here either. Janet Rivera is at a conference. And Jeanette Stevens, I don't think Jeanette's here either. And our student trustee, I didn't see her, but her name is Marcia Fernando, and she's brand new. She'll be attending a trustee training this summer and learning how to be a student trustee. I'd also like to introduce our board, our foundation board. Pat Doyle is the foundation board president. I don't think Pat's here. Chuck Block is the vice president. Jeff Wright is the past president. Also on the foundation board are Sue DiPolo, Carl Tolliver, Dr. Elizabeth Blanchard, Steve Castellanos, Tom Patty, Supervisor Patty, Claudia Moreno, and Teresa Brown is our alternate. So would you give both of those groups And then I'd like to introduce our administrators, many of whom have been involved in the work that we're about to do here. First of all, Salvador Vargas, who's our interim assistant superintendent, vice president of instruction and planning. He's right over here. Dr. Lisa Cooper Wilkins, who's the Assistant Superintendent, Vice President of Student Services. Mr. Gerardo Calderon, who's the Vice President of Operations. Jerry's in the back. Deanna Solina, who's our Vice President of Human Resources and Risk Management. Tony Summers, our Acting Vice President of Administrative Services, who is in Africa. And Shelley Valentine, our Director of Marketing, Communication, and Outreach. We also have a number of deans who are here today. I'm not sure all of them are here, but I'm going to read their names. Jesse Garza Roderick, who's the Associate Dean of the South Campus at Mountain House. Dr. Ginger Holden, who is the Dean of Student Learning and Assessment. Ginger's here, I just saw her a minute ago. Dr. Angela Toss, our Dean of Enrollment Services and Student Development. Julie Kay, who I believe is on vacation. She is the Acting Dean of Career Technical Education and Workforce Development. Delicia Robertson, I saw Delicia earlier. Dean of Counseling and Special Services. And Martha Villarreal, who is our Acting Dean of Distance and Regional Education. I don't think Martha. there are also a number of other staff here. I'm not going to read all their names because we'll be here all day, and we want to get to the important stuff here. So I also wanted to say that I want to thank Ellen John, our CSU Stand president, who came to me some time ago, along with other administrators from Stanislaus, who, and famous, of course, the dean of the Stockton Center. I want to thank all of them for realizing that this partnership really needs to be formalized. We have students here who desperately need to be able to get to a four-year school, who really can't afford, for a whole host of reasons, to go out of town. They need a CSU here that they can have access to and that they can count on for programs that they need. And so one of the things that this MOU is going to do is make it regularized, give them a pathway so that they are able to know that if they pursue one of these degree programs, that they will actually get the classes that they need in a timely way. And so what that'll mean is not only will they have access to four-year degrees, but they'll have access to them in a reasonable amount of time. They'll be able to finish here, they'll see that they have this pathway that they can go on, and I think what it'll accomplish is that they'll realize that they're not gonna have to take forever, as it has been, wondering whether this class or that class is going to be offered. So this is the world of guided pathways, which we're involved in working on here at the college to try to make it easier for students to navigate our system, but also it fits right in with these programs that we're going to have at the Stockton Center. So I am just so thankful to Ellen and to Famous and to everybody else who's worked on this. It's really a great program. The other thing I think is interesting is that it renews a long-standing relationship between Delta and CSU. Some of you I know remember when there was a little building out there in the Holt parking lot that housed, I see people, some of us old timers remember that, when there was a building on our campus where students could go directly to that, and in fact, that little building is over in Tracy, and it's the building that we used when we first started the South Campus at Mountain House, which was at that time in Tracy. So this is, as I said earlier, kind of back to the future, but so important for our students, and I'm just, again, so thankful to everyone who made this possible. So now I want to introduce President Ellen John, who has lots of people to introduce as well. And so thank you very much, everybody.
Good morning, everyone. We are so excited to be here this morning to celebrate really what is a historic memorandum of understanding, or it's a formal agreement between Stan State and San Joaquin Delta College. This is an agreement, as you heard from Kathy, that cements a long-standing relationship between Stanislaus State and Delta College that continues to grow, even now in what will now be our fourth decade. So it is with a lot of gratitude that I also want to applaud and salute Delta College President Dr. Kathy Hart for her very pivotal role in helping to bring this agreement into fruition. I'd like to personally thank some of the region's important legislative and civic leaders who are here today to advocate for higher education, and they took time out of their very busy schedules to be here with us this morning. And so there are about 5 individuals I want to announce. The site authority representative and former Senator Patrick Johnston. Patrick, will you stand and I believe we also have a representative from Senator Galgiani's office. Please stand. Thank you. And we have representatives from Assemblymember Susan Eggman's office. Can you please stand to be recognized? I believe Councilmember Dan Wright is in the audience. Please stand. And I just met this morning Cher Gill, who's representing Mayor Michael Tubbs. Is he here? Can you please stand? So thank you. We really appreciate all of you being here to recognize this MOU signing. Now, this particular MOU document would never have happened without the critical efforts and initiatives from key members of my cabinet, and especially want to credit Dr. Gitanjali Kaul, who is our new Vice President for Strategic Planning, Enrollment Management, and Innovation. So, Dr. Gitanjali Kaul. She actually is the author who wrote and crafted the MOU and brought together all of the different individuals who are members of this MOU. In addition, very importantly, is Provost Kim Greer, who's here also, so Kim. And together, with her leadership, working with all of the deans, it's one thing to sign a document, it's another to make sure that those classes are being offered and the faculty are being hired, and that's where the deans are absolutely critical. So I'd like to recognize the deans. So Dr. Odman Mir, please stand. Dr. David Evans, Dr. Tomas Gomez Arias from the business. Representing Dean Jim Twedo is Dr. Nancy Burrows. Dr. Helene Caudell, who's from Extended Ed. And Dr. Ron Rodriguez from the library. So all of these individuals have been very pivotal in helping to build a stronger, more intentional alliance and programs and services between Delta and Stan State. But there are other key cabinet members that also are helping to round out the picture, and those include Dr. Dell Hayden, Vice President for Business and Finance, and our CFO. New to our cabinet is Dr. Paz Oliveras, who's the Vice President for Student Affairs. Dr. Michelle Lati from Advancement. And Associate Vice President for Marketing and Media is Rosalie Rush. In the back. So together, this team is going to continue to work to strengthen a variety of the different support services, both academic and student-centered, for all of the Stockton students. Now, none of this would have happened without the original visionary actions of two individuals, one of whom is here today, and that is former Senator Patrick Johnston, along with Marveline Hughes, the former president, 3 presidents ago at Stan State. So it's important to remember that Stan State has maintained a very important physical presence here at Stockton, as Kathy said, for many years, long-standing years, actually since 1974, which is 44 years ago. As I said, 4 decades we've now had this relationship. And this is actually only 14, if you think about it, 44 years is a long time, but 14 years after we opened our first classes on the main campus. So Stockton Presence originally actually began, for those who are old-timers, it began in Stockton in a downtown office space originally. Then we held our first classes here at Delta College in 1981 to 1988. And after that, we moved the operations to University Park in Stockton's historic Magnolia District, not too far from here. So over the last 14 years, more than 10,000 students have attended classes here at Stan State Stockton Center, and in order to work on their college degrees. And importantly, over the last 2 years, we have made much more intentional, strategic efforts to continue to build our commitment to the Stockton Center to ensure that students are enrolling and attending classes here at Stockton and can actually complete their degrees here at Stockton without ever commuting to our college campus in Turlock. And that's very important, as Dr. Hart has said, is that students are very place-bound. Many of the students who come here are working full-time, so for them to get into a car and drive after work all the way down to Turlock with the traffic makes it very difficult. So having a clear presence here in Stockton is critical. We already know that Delta College students make up a very significant number of our Stan State transfer population, and that population continues to grow, and we anticipate even more growth after the signing of this MOU. Just for reference, last year, the growth from the transfer students at Stockton here grew 14% without any advertising. So once we advertise, we are sure that it's going to increase even more. So currently, Stockton Center, for your information, has over 881 students, and they're enrolled in 15 different degree programs at the bachelor's level, the master's level. We have a doctorate that rotates, and we also have 3 credential programs, all operating in totality here at Stockton. So today, we're very excited to be able to continue and strengthen our partnership through this MOU. And what we're seeking to do here is to create a seamless pathway, as Dr. Hart said, educational pathway for students to transfer from Delta to Stan State for the completion of 9 undergraduate degree programs. And we're calling this the program called WOW. And what does WOW stand for? It's an acronym, but it's also WOW. And that is Warriors on the Way. So here our Mustang, who is on his way, galloping on his way to become Titus the Titan, a warrior. So more importantly, this memorandum represents Stan State's enduring core commitment to providing high quality access to higher education to the richly diverse and often underserved population and communities here in San Joaquin County and to the Stockton Center. So our goal is to expand the number of 4-year degrees that can be completed right here in Stockton through the partnership, and we're committed to providing other academic and student service activities and other resources that will help create a very robust and fulfilling college experience for all of our Stockton Center students. So we know, as the mayor does, as many in the community here at Stockton, we know that the need for 4-year college graduates here in the county, San Joaquin County, is critical. And not just in San Joaquin County, Stanislaus County, but all of the Central Valley. And so we're confident that this agreement will help foster a well-educated and well-prepared workforce for our region. We are also excited and very appreciative that this strong relationships are continuing to build here between Stan State and other members of the San Joaquin community. And the relationships that are flourishing now are largely due to the outstanding job of Stockton Center Dean, Dr. Famous Harrison. So Famous, please stand and be recognized. He's a familiar face to all of you who are here in Stockton. He's been tirelessly working and building the foundation. For example, he's established the Public Higher Education Advisory Board of San Joaquin County that helps to give us advice and feedback about our programs here. For those who don't know, he actually became Dean of the Stanislaus State Stockton Center actually in February in 2016, and he joined our warrior family coming from Central Washington University, where he was the regional director of campuses and community partnerships. In addition, he's also well noted because he was a former president of the association called National Association for Branch Campus Administrators, and he brings with him not only those content knowledge skills, but he's an energetic and visible advocate that is a great bridge builder for so many in the Stockton community with our campus here in Stockton. So please join me now in welcoming Stockton Center Dean Dr. Famous Harrison.
Hello everyone, how are you guys doing today?
Yes.
Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Awesome. Isn't it amazing this is the first day of summer? It's beautiful. Originally I was worried that it was going to be too hot. Now with the wind I was concerned that my hair is going to get messed up. Oh well. I'm really excited that all of you guys are here. This MOU is a signing event, but there's so many people behind the scenes that have contributed to this. Collectively, both Delta College as well as Stan State, we met almost a year ago. Leaders, faculty, staff, administrators from both institutions. We had a half-day brainstorming sessions that really focused on the needs within Stockton and San Joaquin County. From there, we have many different breakout groups at both institutions. We've met related to everything about creating seamless pathways for education, as well as integrating and ensuring that we have support resources for student success. So this is not this event is exciting, but it's really the beginning, and it's also a continuation. So it's a beginning and a continuation. As all of you guys know, the need in Stockton, San Joaquin County is great, with over 300,000 people, residents living in Stockton, almost 750,000 that lives in the county, and how many people travel to and from. So not only is this important for residents, it's also important for economic development, business and industry. It's important to keep people local. It's really important to have local options for people to advance their lives, their quality of lives. So really, this MOU it's basically a call of action. It's a call to action that we've been trying to address for a long time. And honestly, I think this day is long overdue. It should have happened years ago. I've worked at all different types of institutions. I've worked at Research One. I've taught over 100 classes at community colleges, as well as I worked at regional universities. Having seamless pathways and partnerships between community colleges and universities are essential. Another thing that's essential that I really want to share with you guys, what does Delta College and Stanislaus State have in common? Does anyone know? A lot of first generations. But here's something else. Community colleges are designed to focus on the needs of their community. There's a difference between a research university and regional universities. Research universities is about research, really at a national or international level. Regional universities also have a research component, but really one of the missions of a regional university is how do you support the constituents, the residents, the people in your community. So this bridge between Delta College and Stanislaus State, it's natural. It's something that should have always been. So as we're thinking about this day, let's realize that this is a new beginning, but there's a lot of work that needs to be done. And even after this event, just a couple weeks from now, Dr. Lisa Cooper Wilkins is actually going to be hosting her summer retreat at the Stockton Center to really talk about this MOU, talk about how do we ensure student success, guided pathways, what does that look like when they transition to Stanislaus State, what does that look like when we're trying to say we want you to finish faster. We have a graduation initiative, so being able to align both objectives as it relates to guided pathways are essential to the success of students. It's essential to the success of this community as well. So when I talk about call to action, I also want to take the time right now to introduce the next person that's going to present. When I came here, one of the things Ellen wanted me to do is really understand the needs of the community. I met with so many different constituents, so many different stakeholders, and regardless, whatever groups I met with, there was consistent themes about the importance of education, the importance of supporting Stockton, supporting San Joaquin County, supporting youth, next generation of leaders, first generation, you name it, goes on and on and on. An individual that I admired through my 2+ years here in California as well as in Stockton is a person that's going to be the next presenter. I just want to give you a few things about the next person I'm going to call up. This individual, he's truly passionate about youth. He's passionate about education. He has been a school teacher. He's been a principal. He's also the interim superintendent for the Stockton Unified School District. He's also been a faculty member at Stanislaus State. He's extremely vested in this community. He's extremely vested in the youth, in workforce development, creating pathways and opportunities for a better tomorrow for residents locally. I really admire this person. I've actually worked with him on, I don't even know how many different committees. Amazing, I can't count. But every time I really appreciate that he's transparent, he's authentic, and he really wants to be responsive to the needs of the community. So please join me in welcoming Councilmember Dan Wright to the podium.
That transparency and authenticity gets me in trouble from time to time. But good morning, President Hart, President John, Dean Harrison, dignitaries, others. It's an honor to have the opportunity to speak at this important event. I've got a personal connection to both institutions. My wife has degrees from both Delta and Stanislaus State, and so it's meaningful to me. As a member of the Stockton City Council, and as a recent acting superintendent for Stockton Unified School District, I know the importance of today's actions for the students of our community. First, you have to understand the skills our students will need entering the workforce and how they've changed over the last century. So it's a little bit of story time right now. Think about your parents and the skills and credentials they needed to enter the working world. I thought about my own dad. In 1939, 6 months shy of his high school graduation, he left high school for a job in a fishing boat in Alaska, sending half his weekly earnings back to the family in Wisconsin, a family still reeling economically from the effects of the Great Depression. 2 years later, he returned to his hometown, took a well-paying union job as a meat cutter at the local Oscar Mayer plant. World War II called. He served his country, enlisting in the U.S. Navy, receiving his high school equivalency in the process, which was pretty common back then, and earning a Bronze Star at the Battle of Leyte in the Philippines. Again, he returned back to Wisconsin, worked on his uncle's farm for a few months, married that little girl down the street who grew up while he was gone, and bought a house a block away from his parents' house. Shortly afterward, he began a 28-year career as a police officer. Now, why am I telling you all this? One of the things is that experience wasn't uncommon back then. You could walk away from high school and have a decent paying job. Those days are gone. Those days are gone now. In 1939, just 15% of individuals earned any kind of college degree. In fact, by 1973, only 28% of jobs required any kind of college degree. So let's fast forward now to 2018. According to the Georgetown University Center on Education and the Workforce, 62% of jobs today require some level of college education. I like to call it high school plus. Okay, it's yes, that high school diploma is important, but for 62% of you, you're going to need something else besides that to enter the workforce. So I thought about that. How would my dad do today? That fishing boat in Alaska, it's still there. They'd still hire him, and they'd pay him pretty close to what he earned back then. I think average annual pay for a fisherman in Alaska is about $27,000 a year. The meat packing plant in Wisconsin closed 2 years ago. That police job is still available. Minimum of 60 college units required. Bachelor's degree preferred. Get the picture? So, it's obvious that high school plus is the minimum expectation in today's workforce. Why does it matter that students have the option to complete that work here in Stockton? Again, it's about the numbers. Stockton has the lowest percentage of residents with a 4-year college degree in our region. 17% of adults in the city of Stockton, in our region, actually, in the county, have a 4-year degree. This region needs more college graduates. A family of 4 in the Stockton region earns an average of $46,000 a year, barely survival wage. $20,000 less than our neighbors just over the Altamont Pass. How many of these struggling families have the resources to send their children to live in a residential dorm in Sacramento or Turlock while they earn their degrees? How many students are willing to take on the over $100,000 in debt it would take to earn that 4-year degree in a residential setting? I'm guessing very few, and history's backed me up on that. However, if a student can attend classes in their hometown, getting the first 2 years at a fraction of the cost of that residential setting, and being able to bike or bus their way to their upper level classes on the Stockton campus, it's a no-brainer. And I'd like to thank Delta and CSU Stanislaus for the promises they're making to our students. It's going to be life-changing, transformational for many of our families. Bring on the opportunity, and I promise our students will take advantage of it. And I just realized I am still employed for 8 more days in Stockton Unified School District, so I would be remiss in stating that Dr. Dacey sends his regrets that he's not able to be here today, but he had conflicting meetings, so I needed to get that out there. So I believe now is the time, or Dr. Harrison, are you coming back? Okay, so famous.
Dan's message is one of thousands of similar stories and the importance that education can make in individuals' lives. And collectively, this city really needs more opportunities for education, workforce development, and this partnership is one opportunity where we can strengthen that P20 pipeline to support local constituents. On that note, when we sent out the invite to different stakeholders, you guys were the selected group. However, we were torn because there's hundreds, if not thousands, of other people that we probably should have invited. And I would argue there's over 300,000 in the city that really needs to know what's going on as well. That being said, when we sent out the selected invites, I was really admired by Eggman's office as well as Gaziani's office of their support and their commitment of being here. Mayor Tubbs and the city of Stockton, we're like this. They support everything related to the city. So I was really admired the commitment, from legislation to say, not only do we want to be there, that on behalf of both representatives, they want to actually say a few words. So now I'd like to invite up Ben Henderson to the stage.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
How's everyone doing? In high school, I was in an Upward Bound program, which is a program for first-generation, low-income high school students. And this program basically was set up to inspire high school students to go to college. We had different college tours. We also had workshops on college and how to be successful. And I actually moved to Tracy, and my mom would take me up to Upward Bound in Hayward every Saturday, and that just showed the commitment of how important education was. And it's just outstanding just to be in that program and to have a mom and a family that really wanted me to go to college, and every single day they stressed the importance of how important college was. I ended up going to San Jose State, and at San Jose State it opened up my mind to a lot of opportunities. I met a lot of great people, made a lot of great friends, actually lifelong friends. And it showed me that knowledge is power. And today, this is a great day to create more opportunities for people to obtain this power. So on behalf of State Senator Kathleen Galgiani and Assemblywoman Susan Eggman's office, I'd like to present a certificate.
Thank you, Benjamin. Actually, we are making great time. We want to be respectful for everyone's time, but right now is really the moment why we all are here. At this time, I'm going to recognize President Hart and President Jun, and we're going to start the signing of the official MOU between Delta College and Stan State.
Ready?
Congratulations.
Both Kathy Hart, Ellen Jun, as well as others will stick around, so if you guys have questions or if you want to take pictures, you're more than welcome to do so. So again, on behalf of both institutions, we really appreciate your support. We appreciate you guys being here, supporting education, and we're looking forward to working with each and every one of you and your organizations moving forward, because really, it's not just Stan State, it's not just Delta College, it's a community, and we need each other to support the needs of this region. Thank you. And then also, there's lots of food and water here, so basically Kathy gave me the directive, help yourself to the food.